Good evening and welcome to Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters from MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM. It's time for another rollicking high school football game. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves and the Cloverdale Eagles. In the junior varsity contest, the Fort Bragg junior varsity contest, coming off that exciting come-from-behind win last week at St. Helena, pulled off an easy win here tonight as they simply shellacked the Cloverdale Eagles JV team. 42-6 was the final score. Another great day of passing for Kaylor Sullivan. Another great time for the defense here tonight in that junior varsity contest. So we're getting ready for varsity football. Now here's the deal. There are two top teams in the league this year. Middletown, the Mustangs are undefeated. St. Helena, the Saints have only lost one game, that being to Middletown. So they're at the top. In the middle right now, you've got Fort Bragg, Cloverdale, and Clear Lake. The Timberwolves have 2 games left, tonight against Cloverdale and next week against Clear Lake on the road. These are very important games for the Timberwolves. They can separate themselves from the middle of the pack and move up to the upper echelon, and if they do, there's a good chance they'll make the playoffs. How far will they go? That's hard to say. They've had some rough roads this year and some very good teams they've been beaten by. But if they win tonight and win next week, there's a good chance they'll go to the playoffs. So this is a big game. We're set here. We'll continue with the pregame show in just a bit. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Get ready. High school football from Timberwolves Stadium is coming up. We continue now with the pregame show. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning. And for MendocinoTV.com, you can watch a video anytime, anywhere. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves at home tonight. It is a crisp fall evening. It's the first day of November, and it's starting to feel a little chilly. This is going to be one of those games tonight where the weather is perfect. There is no wind. For the most part, it's clear. There is some fog out over the ocean. It may roll in, but it looks like at this point anyway, as we get ready to get this game going, weather is not going to be a factor unless you're sitting in the stands, because it is going to be a little chilly. Definitely a night for gloves and earmuffs. The Timberwolves wearing their home purple with the white numerals and gray pants. This is their last home game. They want to put on a good show for this home crowd. They played very well at home this year, and they've had a little trouble at times on the road, but so far at home they've had a very good season. Tyler Ashby, their quarterback, is a running quarterback. The Timberwolves run a veer offense. He also throws the ball, although it's basically a run offense. Ashby depends on running back Zach Smith, the I-back or the tailback, who at times will line up in a slot position and go in motion. He, of course, wears number 28, finishing a great career here. This will be his final home game of the season, and he is one of the all-time leading rushers in Timberwolves history. He's right up there at the top of the list. Of course, Jake Chimolino, who's now a star at Mesa College back in Colorado, is the all-time leading rusher. But Zach Smith, if he has a couple of good games here, both tonight and then next week at Clear Lake, will be moving right up the list and may end up as being the second all-time leading rusher for the Timberwolves. And he puts on a show each and every night that the Timberwolves take the field. Whether they're winning a game or whether they're losing, you always got to watch for number 28, Zach Smith. Also this year, Ty Vaughn has played a great role for the Timberwolves as a receiver, and sometimes he lines up in the fullback position as a blocking back, and he's just done a great job on defense. If there's been a problem for the Timberwolves this year, it has been on defense. They have struggled at times. There are other teams that have put up big numbers on the scoreboard against them, but it's a young team, and they're learning and getting better and better each time out. But there has been a struggle at times on defense for the Timberwolves. All right, let's take a look now at the Cloverdale Eagles. The Eagles run a spread offense, which is probably good news for the Timberwolves. They've had trouble stopping a veer offense this year, and the spread offense, of course, runs the ball less and throws the ball a little more typically. The Eagles are led by their quarterback. He's a senior. He'll be wearing number 11, Josh Holden. The Eagles wearing their white jerseys with their blue pants and their blue numerals and gold trims. The blue and gold Cloverdale Eagles, led by their coach, Rick Berry. The running backs, Luke Bernardi, and also at running back will be Luis Gutierrez. Those two carry the ball well. The wide receivers you have to watch out for are probably Greg Scarmella. He's also a running back and a wide receiver as well in this spread, and also Adrian Bernardi. Adrian Bernardi and Luke Bernardi are brothers. They're both sophomores, so it's a young team here for Cloverdale. And on defense, they're led by a couple of guys that will be wearing number 62, Zach Regi, and number 63, Michael Goebel. Those are the two to watch for on defense. The Eagles have beat the Kelseyville Knights, a team that really played well here. The Timberwolves had to come from behind. They trailed at halftime and then came from behind and beat the Knights here a couple of weeks ago. Cloverdale beat them by 1 point. Cloverdale has had some close games. Against Clear Lake, it was a 1-point ball game there. And although the Timberwolves probably should be favored, I would think, tonight, it's hard to tell at the high school level whether to favor a team or not. But the Timberwolves are playing at home, and with everybody healthy, although they do have a couple of injuries. Devin Morgan, one of their backup running backs that's stepped in nicely when other players have been hurt, is injured a little bit. Scooty Titus, also for the Timberwolves, has been nursing a sore ankle, but he seems to be getting better and better every week, so he should be okay tonight and ready to go. So it's the Cloverdale Eagles and the Fort Bragg Timberwolves. We'll be back. Get ready for the coin toss and the kickoff for the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting on a Saturday morning. And for MendocinoTV.com on video, I'm Lindy Peters. Get ready. The coin toss and the kickoff are coming up. We'll get this thing going from Timberwolves Stadium on a Friday night under the lights. All right, we're set now for the coin toss as the team captains head out to the midfield area where the referees are awaiting. The quarterback, Josh Holden, along with the co-captain, Zach Regi for the Cloverdale Eagles. You got Ashby, Beckman, Vaughn, and Zach Smith, the co-captains for the Timberwolves. So we'll get ready to do the coin toss here tonight. I'm Lindy Peters. Thanks for joining us as we get set here for the kickoff. The referees explaining the ground rules, which really don't amount to too many here in high school football. It's basically they're showing them the coin and saying, let's be nice, play fair, show some good sportsmanship. As you see the officials showing them both the coin, what's heads and tails. He lets Cloverdale call it, and he'll flip it in the air, and there's the flip. And let's see who wins the toss. Looks like Cloverdale has won the toss, and they're going to defer and kick it off to the Timberwolves, which means Cloverdale will get the ball to begin the second half. We're going to get set for the national anthem coming next here. And so we will take a short break. We'll come back with the kickoff and get this thing going. The Timberwolves are going to receive the kickoff as Cloverdale won the toss and deferred. And now we'll take a short timeout and come back with the kickoff and get this game started from Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be right back. Hey, we're ready for some high school football. Coach Roy Perkins has the Fort Bragg Timberwolves gathered around him as they get set to receive the opening kickoff. Cloverdale will be kicking off. Fort Bragg will be moving right to left across your radio dial on this rebroadcast on the Skunk FM on a Saturday morning. This is, like I said, a cool, crisp fall night here at Timberwolves Stadium. You know, one of the offensive players I forgot to mention for the Timberwolves who's really come on this season each game is Nathaniel Johnson. He wears number 3. He's one of the return men, and he's a good receiver. He's a good running back, and he's a great return man as well. And I was remiss in neglecting to mention him during our pregame show talking about the Timberwolves, but he's had a great season, kind of a quiet season with Zach Smith on the same team, but Nathaniel Johnson has played very well this year. He's back along with Zach Smith in the deep position to receive this kickoff from Cloverdale. Louis Gutierrez will be kicking it off for the Eagles, wearing again their white jerseys with their blue pants and their white jerseys with the blue numerals and gold trim. White stripe down the side of their pants. As we get set to go, the Timberwolves Stadium Fort Bragg side stands up for the kickoff. We're all set as Gutierrez kicks it off. A high end-over-end kick. It's going to be Johnson taking it at his own 15 to the 20 to the 25. Right up the middle he goes and is hit and dropped at about the 35-yard line. Nice tackle that time. That was Jose Cavillo who made the stop for the Cloverdale Eagles. So the Timberwolves, let's see where Johnson dove. He actually hit down at about the 34-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Bragg. Timberwolves send their offense out there, and the Eagles run a multiple set defense. They start with a base 4 down linemen, but they'll shift it around. Ashby with the backs in the I formation, Zach Smith at tailback. The give is to Smith, left side, gets a block. Tries to get outside, and he is stopped. Gutierrez makes a stop right near the line of scrimmage that time as Zach couldn't quite get outside. He was met in the backfield and dropped for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Maybe he got a yard. 2nd down and 9, let's call it. You have to remember all the teams that scout the Timberwolves are definitely spying on number 28, Zach Smith. They key their defense to him, and a nice play that time by number 24, Luis Gutierrez, by the Eagles that time, who had outside containment here on the left side of the defense, left side of the offense. All right, Smith goes in motion. They give it to him right side. He comes. He's got some blockers in front of him, and he's got about 5 yards, still on his feet, hit at about the 40-yard line, still going down, and drags a tackler down across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. He's short of the first down, but a nice second effort by Zach Smith that time, setting up third down and short now for the Timberwolves. Ball at their own 33-yard line. They need to get about a yard. It's going to be third down and about 1. Just underway, first quarter. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning against an old rival, the Cloverdale Eagles. Timberwolves break the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage they come now, needing a yard here, 3rd and 1. That's Scooty Titus in the backfield with Zach Smith. He's in the I formation, the deep back. They give it to Smith left side. He's got a first down and is tackled across the 45-yard line out to about the 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Timberwolves. Nice block that time. It looked like it was Martinez, the pulling guard, who came out and laid a nice block, getting Zach Smith enough for a first down. So 1st and 10, the Timberwolves move the chains here on their first possession. We're just underway first quarter, 10:22 to go here. Ball at the Timberwolves, let's call it the 48-yard line. Again, the backs in the I formation, Titus at fullback. 2 men split out to the right. Zach Smith in the I formation, and Tyler Ashby calls a timeout. So the Timberwolves will take their first timeout, and we'll take a timeout. There's no score. We're just underway, 10:02 to go first quarter. It's 1st and 10 Timberwolves when we return, the ball at their own 48-yard line. After the timeout, the Timberwolves come up to the line of scrimmage now, 1st and 10, the ball at their own 48-yard line. Ashby with his backs in the I formation, Smith the tailback. 2 men split out to the right, 1 man slotted. Ashby takes a snap, gives it to Smith, right side, cuts back, got some room, breaks a tackle down across the 50-yard line down to about the 46-yard line, close to another Fort Bragg first down, about a 10-yard gain from Zach Smith that time. See where they mark it. It is a first down. They move the chains. The ball at the Eagle 41-yard line. 1st and 10. The Timberwolves now with a couple of first downs on their first possession. Tyvon splits way out to the right. Nathaniel Johnson slotted in the right side. Ashby over center. The lone back behind him is Titus. This is Zach Smith, comes in motion. Fake to Smith. Ashby turns around and keeps the ball. Goes up the middle and didn't get too much that time. Tackled by John Janey. Also in the stop that time was Oster for the Eagles. About a 3-yard pickup from Tyler Ashby, who faked it to Smith, who came in motion that time and then spun and went right up the middle. Going to set up about a 2nd down and 7. The ball now at the Eagles' 38-yard line. Smith comes in motion again, this time to give to him right side. Martinez pulling guard. He's got some room. He's got yardage. He's across the 30 to the 25 and inside the 20 and out of bounds on the far sideline. A first down for the Timberwolves is Zach Smith, with a nice game that time. Picked up about 17 yards down to about the 21-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds. 1st and 10 Timberwolves. Nice job by Martinez, the pulling guard that time. So Fort Bragg moving the football and moving to change. Another first down, 8:56 to go. We're in the first quarter, no score. Timberwolves with their first possession. Vaughn splits out to the left this time. Johnson slotted right side. Titus in the backfield. Smith slotted left side. This time they give it to Johnson coming around the left. He's got Martinez pulling. Johnson with good yards into the 15 and is hit and dropped at about the 11-yard line. Picked up about 9 yards that time. Nathaniel Johnson, who came from his right slot position and took a sweep to the left side. And the Fort Bragg Timberwolves are moving the football on the ground against the Eagle defense here in their first possession. Setting up 2nd down and 1, the ball at the 11-yard line. Tupper splits way out to the right for the Timberwolves this time. Vaughn lines up as a tight end right side. It's a double tight end formation now with 2 men in the backfield. Smith in the I formation. He's a tailback. They give it to Smith. Right up the middle he comes. Into the line he goes and gets a first down inside the 10-yard line, setting up 1st and goal for the Timberwolves. The ball down at about the Cloverdale 8-yard line. Smith walks out with a limp now, favoring that right leg. Zach Smith, who was injured against McKinleyville earlier this year, and he's favoring that right knee again as he comes to the sideline. He wears a a brace, or has been wearing a brace on that knee, and he's walking kind of away from the coaches. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Titus in the backfield now. Johnson slotted left side. Vaughn splits way out right. Ashby takes a snap, fakes, keeps it himself, goes up the middle to the 5, inside the 5 down to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be second down and goal. .7:34 to go. We're in the first quarter. No score. The Timberwolves' first possession. And after the kickoff, they've been moving the ball steadily downfield. Zach Smith is still favoring his right leg as he walks up and down the sideline with his helmet off. Doesn't seem to be anything really serious, but it's hard to tell. You got the adrenaline flowing. This game just getting underway. Hopefully he's going to be okay. This time Johnson, Nathaniel Johnson in the I back right now at tailback. Titus at fullback. One man left, one man right. Pro set this time. Ashby takes a snap, gives to Johnson, right side, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Little or no gain that time, setting up 3rd and goal. That was John Janey again on the stop on the inside for the Eagles. Also in there was Jose Cavillo. So it'll be 3rd down and goal. The ball still at the 4-yard line. Smith comes back in now. Johnson comes out. Actually may have lost a yard on that play. So the Timberwolves break the huddle and come up to the line of scrimmage. 6:32 to go, first quarter, no score, 3rd and goal at the Cloverdale 4-yard line. Smith back in the game. He's a lone back behind Ashby in the I formation at tailback. They give it to Smith. Left side he comes, gets a block. He's to the 5. He's in the corner. Touchdown Timberwolves is Zach Smith, who sat out a few plays, came back in and ran it in from the 4-yard line. A 4-yard run for a touchdown, and the Timberwolves draw first blood. It is 6-0 with 6:15 to go here in the first quarter. So it's the Timberwolves who take the opening kickoff with a long, steady drive, taking about 6 minutes off the clock, and they hit pay dirt from the 4-yard line as Zach Smith runs it around the left side. Now River Saunders on for the extra point. Ashby to hold. There's a snap. Spot is down. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it's good. And with 6:16 to go here in the first quarter, the score, Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale nothing. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff from the Timberwolves as Cloverdale will get their hands on the ball for the first time tonight in just a moment. All right, we're ready for the kickoff. The Timberwolves took the opening kickoff, went right down the field and scored a touchdown, driving 65 yards before Zach Smith ran it in from 4 yards out. They lead 7-0. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. River Saunders with a long kickoff, high, end over end, at the 2-yard line is taken, up to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, or at the 15 or 16-yard line. The return man is dropped by the Timberwolves. The first man to hit him was Christian Strickland, who made him cut back to the inside and let the rest of the Timberwolves kickoff team make the stop, and the Fort Bragg defense heads out there for the first time. Here comes that spread offense with quarterback Josh Holden for the Eagles now. 2 men split right, 2 men split left in the shotgun with 1 back. You can still run out of this formation. This is the formation that Timberwolves used a few years ago when Jake Chimolino took them all the way to the North Coast Section Championship. Holden from the shotgun. Takes a snap, gives, and carrying the ball that time is Luke Bernardi, picking up a couple yards over the left side, not much, shy of the 20-yard line. Maybe about a 2-yard gain, setting up second down at about 8. We're just underway, first quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. I'm Lindy Peters, rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning on the Skunk FM, and you're watching MendocinoTV.com, enjoying the video. Beautiful night for football, a little crisp and cold, but we're here at Timberwolves Stadium under the lights. Second down and 8 now for the Eagles. Holden out of the shotgun from that spread formation. This time he rolls to his right, looking. Now he throws, man's open, makes the catch at about the 30-yard line for a first down for the Eagles. Nice pass that time. The pass is complete. Damian McKinney made the catch, and it's a first down for Cloverdale out to the Fort Bragg 31-yard line. Holden throwing the ball on the run that time nicely. So the Eagles get a first down, 5:27 to go first quarter, out to their own, let's call it the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 Cloverdale on the near hash mark. 1 man splits right. 3 men split out to the left out of this spread formation. Holden at the shotgun. takes a snap, gives it to Bernardi, fakes to Bernardi, keeps it himself. He's trying the right side, and he is stopped. Nice tackle that time by Tyler Ashby as he came up from his defensive back position and made the stop. Little or no gain that time. Might have even lost a yard. He did. In fact, a yard loss, setting up second down now at about 11. The ball back at the 31-yard line now. That spread formation, you can, if you have a running quarterback, you can definitely run the ball as well as throw the ball out of that formation. That's why it's good, because you spread out the defense, and oftentimes if you run between the tackles out of that formation at quarterback, you can get some good yards. So here we go. It'll be second down and 11 now for Cloverdale. Holden out of the shotgun, out of the spread, takes a snap, fakes to Bernardi, keeps himself, runs the same play again. Smith tried to strip the ball and didn't, but instead coming up is Ty Vaughn to make the tackle as Zach Smith that time, instead of going for the tackle, tried to strip Holden of the football. He slowed him down enough for Vaughn to make the tackle, but Holden picked up about 9 yards that time, setting up third down and short, the ball out of the Cloverdale 40-yard line. The running back, Luke Bernardi, is just a sophomore for Cloverdale that lines up in the backfield along with Holden, their quarterback, who's a senior, 6'2", 195, good-sized quarterback. So here they come out of the spread, third and short. The Wolves now testing, going to be tested here on defense. Holden with that spread out of the shotgun, and a man comes in motion and moves that time, and that's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Eagles, as Gutierrez that time was the slot position, and he moved forward to the line of scrimmage. If you're in the slot position, you can move, but you have to move laterally in motion. You cannot move forward once you line up. He did. That's a 5-yard penalty, setting up now third down and about 6, and you go from a possible running situation to a possible throwing situation now for Cloverdale. First quarter, 3:43 to go. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM. You're watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. So here we go. Third down and about 6 now, or 7 for the Eagles. They have the ball thrown 35-yard line. Holden out of the shotgun with Bernardi with him. Fakes to Bernardi, rolling to his left this time. Throws, and it's blocked. The pass is knocked away. Smith was in there, and also that was Gabe Ibarra who came in and hit Holden just as he threw it, setting up fourth down now for Cloverdale. Holden rolling to his left, a right-handed quarterback, and before he really got set, he tried to throw the ball because the pressure was coming, and the pass was blocked. If it hadn't been blocked, he would have been sacked. Gutierrez, their kickoff man, is now in punt formation as Zach Smith goes back deep to receive for the Timberwolves. There's a snap, and he gets a kick away. It's a low end-over-end kick. Smith comes up. He's going to pick it up and run. Up the sideline he goes and out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. So the Timberwolves will take over about where they started their first drive, which resulted in a touchdown. It'll be 1st and 10 Fort Bragg, the ball at their own 36-yard line as they get out there on offense for the second time. 3:15 to go, first quarter. Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale nothing. If you joined us late, the junior varsity contest was another big win for the Timberwolves JVs. They won 42-6, and they are really looking good this year. I have to say, their lone loss coming to the Middletown Mustangs in a game that was one of those would-have, could-have, should-have kind of situations. There was no reason they had every chance to win that game, but they didn't play that well that night at Middletown on the road. And other than that, their season has been really outstanding. So the JVs with another win tonight. The varsity trying to follow suit, leading 7-0 as up to the line of scrimmage come the Timberwolves. The second time on offense. 3 men split to the right. Smith alone back. They pitch to him. Right side he comes. He's got some blockers. Martinez lays the block. He's up across midfield to the 45 and out of bounds as he picks up about 15 or 16 yards that time. First down across midfield to the Cloverdale 46-yard line, and the pulling guard, Jesse Martinez, is doing a great job as these sweeps right now are pretty effective for the Timberwolves. So first down now in Cloverdale territory at the 46. 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale nothing. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Timberwolves. Ty Vaughn splits way out left. Zach Smith slotted left side. The lone back is Titus. They give to Johnson, who is on the right side. He's sweeping left. He's got it across the 40 to the 35. Still on his feet. Stays in bounds across the 30. Down inside the 25-yard line. Nice run by Nathaniel Johnson as he tight-roped up the left sideline and got some good yardage. Another first down to the Cloverdale 22-yard line. And right now it's student body right, student body left for the Timberwolves as they're running the sweep very effectively against the Cloverdale defense. Up to the line of scrimmage after a breaking huddle. Titus in the backfield. Smith slotted left, Johnson slotted right, Ashby over center. Fakes to Smith, keeps it himself left side, and then gets maybe a yard or two up close to the 20-yard line. Call it a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball right at the Cloverdale 20-yard line. Down in about 2 minutes to go now, first quarter. Fort Bragg out on top here, 7-0, driving the football once again. Actually, the defense for Cloverdale has been pretty stiff between the tackles, but outside, the Timberwolves have had some pretty big gains here. Now Smith, the lone back at tailback. 2 men split to the right. Nathaniel Johnson splits out left. Ashby over quarterback. Hasn't thrown the ball yet. Pitches to Smith right side. He almost trips in the backfield, and he's tackled that time. He lost his footing before he got going, and a nice stop that time from Cloverdale. That was Adrian Bernardi who came in and made the stop. A loss back to the 26-yard line, setting up 3rd down at about 15 now. So call it 3rd and 14, actually. About a 4-yard loss for, well, actually, that's right. The ball was at about the 20-yard line, so it was about a 6-yard loss that time. Smith never really got going. He almost tripped up and fell down himself, and by slowing down, it allowed Bernardi to come in and make a nice tackle for Cloverdale in the backfield. So it's 3rd and long now for Fort Bragg. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter as Ashby takes it over center. Fakes to Smith, gives it to Johnson, and he's tackled in the backfield for another loss that time by Cloverdale as a flag comes flying in from the defensive backfield. Not sure what this will be. The referee was way in the Cloverdale defensive part of the secondary where that flag was thrown. And it's a holding call against the Timberwolves. And the penalty is refused, so it's 4th down for Fort Bragg. The ball at Cloverdale's 30-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 18 to go. So Fort Bragg looks like they're going to go for it. As I said, we're under a minute to go here in this first quarter with Fort Bragg leading 7-0 on a chilly fall night here at Timberwolves Stadium. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning, and you're watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. So the Timberwolves will go for it. 4th down at about 18. Backs in the I formation behind Titus, and a timeout called for the Timberwolves. That's their 2nd timeout. They've got 1 left here in this first half. And we'll take a timeout with 41 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale nothing. I'm Lindy Peters. We'll be back after this timeout for the big 4th down play in just a moment. All right, it's 4th down now and about 18 for the Timberwolves after the timeout. Nathaniel Johnson splits out to the right. Tupper splits out left. Titus and Smith behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby back to pass, rolling to his right, looking for Johnson downfield. Throws, and it's caught by Ty Vaughn. Close to the first down, but short, down to about the 15-yard line. They're not going to get a first down, but a nice pass from Ashby that time. Actually, Johnson went deep up the right side. Vaughn came across the field underneath him. The pass was to Vaughn. He was open. A nice pass, but only about a 15-yard pickup, and they needed 18 yards to go. So, in effect, the Eagles take over on down, but deep in their own territory, and they'll have it for the 2nd time with 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10, Cloverdale at their own 15 out of that spread formation. Holden at quarterback in the shotgun formation for Cloverdale. Takes a snap, fakes to Bernardi, back to pass. He's in trouble. He stiff arms a man, gets away, but 3 men are there, and he's tackled at his own 5-yard line for a big loss that time, about a 10-yard loss. Smith did a nice job that time holding on to him, allowing the rest of the defense to come up and make the stop. Holden dropped for about a 10-yard loss, and that's going to be the final play of this first quarter, it looks like, as the Eagles huddle up and will let the clock run down. So that's the end of the first quarter. The horn about to sound. It's Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale nothing. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the second quarter with Fort Bragg out in front, 7-0. Okay, we get set to start the second quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. When we start the second quarter, it'll be 2nd down and 20. Cloverdale has the ball at their own 5-yard line. Out of the spread formation, 2 men split left, 2 men split right, Holden and shotgun with Bernardi the lone back with him. He takes a snap, he's back to pass, quick pass to Bernardi right side, and he is dropped but gets some good yardage out close to the original line of scrimmage, out to about the 13-yard line, setting up 3rd down and about 11 now for Cloverdale. They play 12-minute quarters in high school football. Fort Bragg scored on their first possession, went down, and Zach Smith culminated the drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. The extra point by River Saunders was good, and that's where we stand, 7-0. This is the Eagles' second possession now. And it's third down, and let's call it 12. They got to get out to about the 26-yard line for a first down. Holden in the shotgun out of the spread. Takes a snap. Gives it to Bernardi, and he's got some room. He's got a first down and more as he breaks a tackle and gets out to the 40-yard line, and a flag comes in. That might be a face mask. Nice ball handling that time by Holden as he gave it to Bernardi and then faked like he still had it running to his right, and most of the defense went with him, and Bernardi broke right into the open field immediately. I believe that call is going to go against the Timberwolves, but let's see. The flag came in right where the tackle was made, and it looked like Johnson may have got him by the face mask, and he did. It's just an incidental face mask where you don't grab him by the face mask, but you get your hand up there in the face mask region, and so it's only a 5-yard penalty. But the Cloverdale Eagles on a big third down play get a first down, the ball out to the 45-yard line. Timberwolves on defense here. 11:04 to go in this second quarter now. Just underway, second quarter. All the way out to the 45-yard line. They were at their own 5. This time the give is to Bernardi, and this time he is stopped. Ashby comes up and makes a stop as Bernardi picks up a couple of yards, setting up second down and about 8. Like I said, the spread formation is one of those formations you can run or throw effectively out of. So the Eagles, with second down and 8 now, out near midfield. They're at their own 46-yard line. 2 men split to the right, 2 men split to the left. One back, Bernardi behind Holden out of the shotgun. He takes a snap, back to pass, looking to his left, throws. The pass is complete, short of the first down. Making the catch that time was Adrian Bernardi. We got 2 Bernardis. Adrian Bernardi, the wide receiver. It's going to be third down and about 3 as they pick up about 5 or 6 yards on that play. Just a quick look-in pass. And now it's another third down for Cloverdale, this time across midfield. They're at the Timberwolves' 48-yard line. Third down and about a long 2. Bernardi in the backfield. That is Luke Bernardi along with quarterback Holden. Holden rolling to his right, keeps it himself, and is going to get a first down, it looks like, as he's dropped right at the first down marker at the 45-yard line. I think he got enough for a first down. The Timberwolves think there might be a fumble. They seem to be signaling the ball going the other way. I couldn't see if there was a fumble or not, but as they untangle the players, it looks like Cloverdale will have the football. There might have been a fumble that time. It looks like Scotty Richardson recovered it for Cloverdale. And where the fumble was is now back behind the 45-yard line. So that ball did come out. Cloverdale did recover, but it's setting up fourth down and 1 at the Timberwolves' 46, well, let's call it the right short of the 45-yard line. Less than a yard to go for Cloverdale on fourth down, and on this side of the 50-yard line, it looks like they're going to go for it. 9:05 to go. We're in the second quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. So here we go, a nice big fourth down play. Let's see if they try and draw the Timberwolves offside initially, or if they just run a play. Holden out of the shotgun. Takes a snap, gives it to Bernardi, and he is going to dive forward and get the first down across the 45 to the 44. Didn't get much, but got enough for that first down. Picked up about a yard, but that's all they needed. So Cloverdale on a fourth down play. They've converted a nice long third down play, and they get a fourth down conversion there and keep the chains moving. First and 10 Cloverdale, the ball at the Fort Bragg 44. 8:37 to go, second quarter. Fort Bragg with this 7-0 lead. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Out of the spread, Cloverdale up to the line of scrimmage with Holden in the shotgun at quarterback. Takes a snap, back to pass this time, setting up, looks like a screen, almost gets sacked. Now he's running to the right. He's got some good blocking out there and good yardage up the sideline. He goes and gets a first down across the 30-yard line down, well, right at the 30. He's knocked out of bounds. A nice 13-yard gain by Holden, keeping the ball that time. Initially, it looks like that was going to be a pass, but he had to run. He got pressure that time in the backfield. That was Christian Strickland who put some pressure on him, but he got away and made a nice run. A first down Cloverdale at the Timberwolves 30-yard line. So Cloverdale, who was backed up to their own 5-yard line, has moved it all the way down to the Timberwolves 30-yard line here. trailing 7-0. Fort Bragg on top of the scoreboard right now, but Cloverdale driving the football. Again, out of the spread, Holden in the shotgun formation. Gives it Bernardi. Bernardi breaks a tackle, goes to the left, then back to the right, still on his feet. He's got a first down inside the 20, down to the Timberwolves 15-yard line, and Cloverdale is moving the football on this Timberwolves defense right now. First and 10, the ball at the Timberwolves 15-yard line. Bernardi, just a sophomore, 5'10", 150-pounder, broke a tackle to the left and then broke back to the right side and got some good yardage that time. So again, out of that spread, Holden in the shotgun with Luke Bernardi back there with him. Holden gets a snap, back to pass, looking to his right, and he is sacked. As the Timberwolves that time get him in the backfield, that was Pate, James Pate, who made the sack at about the 20-yard line, a loss of about 5 yards that time. Nice to see a good pass rush from the Timberwolves. They haven't played too many passing teams this year, but that time a 5-yard loss. It'll be second down and 15. The ball back at the 20-yard line. Cloverdale can get a first down at about the 5-yard line of Fort Bragg. So here we go, second down and 15 now. Out of the shotgun, Holden with Bernardi back in the backfield with him. 2 men split left, 2 men right. Takes a snap, gives it to Bernardi, left side. Again, breaks a tackle. He's got plenty of yardage. He's going to go all the way into the end zone. He goes. Touchdown, Cloverdale. Breaking tackles as he goes. Luke Bernardi with a 20-yard touchdown run. And Cloverdale is on the scoreboard. It's now 7-6 as the Eagles will come on for the extra point. As Luke Bernardi running the football that time very effectively on that drive. Now the extra point, Gutierrez will try it. Fort Bragg might have another one of these great games here tonight. Here's the extra point attempt for Clover. The snap, the spot, the kick, it's up, it's got the distance, and it's good, but a penalty flag comes flying in, and Nathaniel Johnson may have hit the kicker after he kicked the football. He shrugged his shoulders as if, what, me? I didn't see what happened, but they'll enforce whatever it is on the kickoff, which means Cloverdale could be kicking it off. Oh, roughing the holder is the call. Boy, that's a rare one. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Well, 6:58 to go in the half. We got us a football game here tonight. It's Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale 7. We'll return with the kickoff after the penalty right after this short timeout. All right, the kickoff now from the across midfield. That 15-yard penalty for roughing the holder puts the ball at Fort Bragg's 45-yard line for the kickoff as Gutierrez gets ready to kick it off. Smith and Johnson deep to receive for the Timberwolves. Fort Bragg better be careful here. An onside kick wouldn't be such a bad idea right now. You're setting it up already across midfield just to kick it off. Gutierrez comes up to kick it off, and he kicks it away. It's a low bouncing kick. Smith will take it at his own 10 up to the 15, looks for some room, and is tackled at the 15-yard line that time as he slowed down just enough for the Eagles to come in and make the stop. That was Zach Regi who came in and stopped him. So Fort Bragg has it deep in their own territory, tied 7-7. The ball at the 15-yard line, just across the 15-yard line, first and 10, Fort Bragg. One thing on a kickoff return, it's difficult to slow way down like Zach Smith did and then get your speed up because the defense on the kickoff team is running down full speed. You almost have to take it and run. All right, here comes Fort Bragg on offense. Ashby gives it to Smith. Left side, or right side it is, and he is tackled at the 20-yard line. He picked up about 5 that time, just right over the right side. Came across the right tackle and then cut to the outside and call it a 5-yard gain. Second down and a long 5. 6:31 to go first half. It's tied. Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale 7. Ball just across the 20-yard line for Fort Bragg. Tupper splits out to the right for the Timberwolves. Johnson splits out left in this formation. Zach Smith at tailback, the lone back behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby pitches to Smith. Left side he comes. He's got some room, gets outside to the 20 and has stopped. A nice outside run, or nice containment from, I think that was Rigi who chased him down. Nice tackle that time. It looked like Smith was going to get outside and get some big yardage, but he was pursued laterally nicely and tackled for no gain. So 3rd down and 5. See if Ashby elects to put the ball in the air. The Timberwolves have only thrown the ball once. It was a completion to Ty Vaughn on a 4th down play that came up short, which ultimately led to the Cloverdale Eagles drive, which culminated in their tying touchdown. So it's a big 3rd down play now. The ball at their own 21-yard line. Johnson splits out to the right. One man splits left. Ashby rolling to his right. Rolling to his right and throwing. He's going for Johnson, and he can't get there. Incomplete. Just out of reach that time. And it'll be 4th down. The Timberwolves are going to have to punt. 5:22 to go here in the half. Now remember, Cloverdale deferred on the kickoff on the coin toss, so they will receive the kickoff to begin the second half. So Fort Bragg's defense has to hold them here. Saunders will be back to punt from about his own 10-yard line. Cloverdale should have decent field position here. That penalty on the kickoff really hurt them as they started deep in their own territory and couldn't get a first down. Saunders gets the kick away. It's a high kick. It's going to bounce across midfield, takes a Cloverdale bounce right backwards across midfield, and Cloverdale has it at Fort Bragg's 45-yard line, 1st and 10. You don't often see a punt bounce backwards like that. So not a very good punt from Saunders that time. About a 25-yard punt, and that's it. But it bounced about 8 yards backwards. So Cloverdale, who just scored a touchdown, has it 1st and 10 in Timberwolves territory to start this drive. 5:21 to go in the half, 7-7 tie. Out of the spread formation, Josh Holden at quarterback with Luke Bernardi, who had some fine runs that last series with him. He gives it to Bernardi again. Big gain left side, 9 or 10 yards, and somebody is either getting blocked or missing an assignment because he is not even getting touched until he's 7 or 8 yards downfield, and yet he's running right off tackle. But again, with that spread formation, you spread the defense out, and your interior linemen have to stay in their lanes. And it's easy to see from up here, but difficult sometimes to execute on the field. So a 9-yard pickup from Bernardi, and a 2nd down and short. The ball down to the Timberwolves' 36-yard line, and right now Cloverdale is just moving the football at will on the Timberwolves defense. Out of the spread, Holden at quarterback with Bernardi back there with him. Takes a snap, fakes to Bernardi, fumble. It's on the ground and picked up by the Timberwolves. A bad handoff that time, and Fort Bragg recovers the fumble. That was Will Jones who recovers the fumble for the Timberwolves right at the 40-yard line. So that time Bernardi was going to take the handoff and go to the right side, or maybe it was a fake and Holden was going to keep it. Hard to say, but they mishandled that handoff one way or another, and the Timberwolves get the turnover. So 1st and 10 that is, for the Timberwolves, the ball at their own 39-yard line. 4:35 to go in the half. It's 7-7 tie here tonight. Ashby with Smith alone back behind him. 3 men split left. Gives it to Smith, right side, fakes, keeps it himself. He's got it, and he has tackled. Good lateral pursuit by this Cloverdale defense after early on Fort Bragg was getting outside, but Luke Bernardi made the stop after picking up a couple of yards. Tyler Ashby that time trying to get outside. 2nd down and 8. The ball across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Getting kind of chilly here tonight. I'm Lindy Peters, rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM on a Saturday morning. You're watching video on MendocinoTV.com. Good ball game tonight. 7-7 tie. 4:06 to go in the half. Ty Vaughn splits way out to the right. Ashby redirects Smith in the backfield to the I formation. He's at the tailback. He's the lone back. Johnson comes in motion. They give to him, and he's tackled in the backfield. Nice play on defense that time. Coming up to make the stop was Adrian Bernardi. No gain, maybe a loss. 3rd down and 10. So the Timberwolves, who really moved the ball well in their first possession, have struggled now against the Cloverdale defense the last 2 times they've had the football. 3:27 to go in the half. 7-7 tie. Fort Bragg with the ball after the fumble recovery at their own 40-yard line. Smith in the backfield. Ty Vaughn back there with him. They're in the I formation. Vaughn in the fullback position. Smith in the tailback. Ashby over center. Fakes to Smith, looking in trouble. Now he rolls to his right. He's got some room. He's to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, and pushed out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That's a first down for the Timberwolves. Tyler Ashby was going to pass the ball that time. John Janey knocked him out of bounds, but not before the Timberwolves quarterback scrambles for a first down. He saw just what I saw here to the right, plenty of daylight, and with his speed, he was able to get outside and pick up a first down. So that moves the chains. We're under 3 minutes to go in the half. It's Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale 7. The ball at Cloverdale's, or right at midfield right now, right at the 50-yard line. Tupper splits out to the left. Vaughn slotted inside of him. Zach Smith now wide receiver right side with Johnson, the lone back. Ashby pitches to Johnson left side. He's getting in trouble. Now he cuts back, and he is hit by 3 men in the backfield for a loss, about a 5-yard loss that time, back to the 45-yard line. That play didn't work, and good defensive pursuit by the Eagles as Zach Regi makes a stop. Fort Bragg calls their final timeout now in this first half after that, well, let's call it a 4-yard loss back to the 46-yard line. 2:48 to go in the half. We'll take a timeout. It's Fort Bragg 7, Cloverdale 7. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with a second down play in just a flash. After the timeout, the Timberwolves with 2:48 to go in the half. In a tie game, 7-7, break the huddle and come up to the line of scrimmage on the far hash mark at second down and 14. They are now in the spread formation with Ashby at shotgun. He gives it to Smith. Smith goes right up the middle, and he is stopped and dropped right at the line of scrimmage, or right past the original, or he got past the line of scrimmage up to the original line of scrimmage. That's what I was trying to say, up to about the 50-yard line, setting up third down and 10. Didn't get much on that play. They tried to spread out the defense a little bit. Cloverdale, after, like I said, Fort Bragg, that first drive just went right down the field and scored a touchdown, took some time off the clock, but now Cloverdale's defense has stiffened significantly here. 2:15 to go in the half, 7-7 tie. Again, out of the spread formation, third down and 10 for the Timberwolves. Ashby in the shotgun with Smith, the lone back with him. Two men split right. Ashby looking to his right, rolling, throws, got a man open, and it's intercepted. Stepping in front and making the interception, that was Vaughn. It was open for a minute, but he looked at him the whole way, and Zach Regi stepped in and made the interception, and so the Cloverdale gets a turnover now with 1:58 to go in the half. They'll have the football at their own 45-yard line. The problem with that play that time really is Ashby just locked his eyes on the receiver, and that gave Regi time to see where he was going to throw, and Vaughn was open for a moment. He just ran a turnaround pattern right at the first down marker, and Regi stepped in front and made the interception that time. So it's 1st and 10 Cloverdale as they get it on a turnover. Out of that spread, Holden at quarterback. Takes a snap, gives it to Bernardi, right side, and again, big yardage. First down all the way across midfield down to the 41-yard line, and the Timberwolves defense is just getting blocked backwards. I guess it's almost hard to see. Either Bernardi's hitting the hole so fast or there's just no one there, but it almost seems as though he's not even getting touched across the line of scrimmage. He's 7 or 8 yards downfield before the Timberwolves realize what's going on. 1st and 10, the ball at the Timberwolves 41-yard line. Holden out of the spread formation at the shotgun with, again, Luke Bernardi the only back. Gives it to Bernardi, and again, he's got good yardage across the field, down to the 30 and inside the 30, another 10-yard pickup, first down, Cloverdale. And they are just running ragged over the Timberwolves right now. Nobody there to stop them. They're getting 10 yards a pop each and every carry with nothing fancy either. Ball down to about the 27-yard line now. 1:17 to go in this first half. Fort Bragg's going to have to stiffen now. 7-7 tie. Holden says something to Bernardi in the backfield with him, and Cloverdale jumped that time, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty against them. Looked like Cloverdale was a little confused. Holden had Bernardi on his left and said something to him. He shifted to his right, and the ball, before it was snapped, the right side of the Cloverdale line moved, so a little something going on there. A mix-up of some kind, but that helps the Timberwolves. Not a lot of penalties so far in this game. The ball back to the 32-yard line now, where it'll be first down and 15 for Cloverdale. Under a minute to go in this first half. Cloverdale seeing if they can get some points on the board before halftime. Holden out of the spread, takes a snap. Looked like somebody moved again, but no penalty. Rolling to his left, throwing. His pass is behind the man and incomplete. Pass was intended that time for Gutierrez at about the 20-yard line, but it's incomplete, stopping the clock now with 45 seconds to go in the half. It'll be second down and 15 at the 32-yard line of Fort Bragg. Well, the way they've been running the football, you have to be happy if you're Fort Bragg's defense that they're going to throw right now, because the Cloverdale Eagles have been averaging close to 10 yards a carry here ever since the first quarter ended. I mean, they've just been running ragged over the Timberwolves defense. So second and 15, Holden out of the spread. In the shotgun, takes a snap, back to pass again, looking to his right, throws a quick slant, got a man there, he's open, he's at the 10, he's at the 5, he's in. Touchdown, Cloverdale. Making the catch that time was Greg Scarmella. Just a quick slant that time, the post pattern out of the spread. And the Eagles take the lead, 13-7. Remember, Cloverdale beat Kelseyville. And the Timberwolves had a tough time against Kelseyville. They beat them just barely by 2 points. But this Cloverdale team came in here, and they've got a good team. And even though Fort Bragg went right down and scored the first touchdown, they haven't done much either offensively or defensively since that first series. Now, Cloverdale is going to receive the kickoff at the second half. And there's only 37 seconds to go here in this half. So Gutierrez on for the extra point. Snap, spots down, the kick is up. And it is good. So, with 37 seconds to go in the half, it's Cloverdale 14 and Fort Bragg 7 as the Eagles take the lead. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff here and the final seconds of this first half in just a moment. The Cloverdale Eagles have just taken the lead. It's 14-7. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. The Eagles now getting ready to kick it off here with 37 seconds to go in this first half. My guess is Cloverdale will have a low ground ball type of a kickoff here. There's no reason for them to kick it deep and give the Timberwolves a chance for a run back. As I mentioned just a moment ago, Cloverdale will receive the opening kickoff to begin the second half, and they now lead 14-7. So let's see if Gutierrez kicks a ground ball or kicks it away here. As he gets ready to kick it off for the Timberwolves, Smith and Johnson deep to receive. He does kick a ground ball. It's taken by Johnson at the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, up to the 40. Still on his feet, he breaks away. He gets to the outside, to the 50, to the 40. He could go all the way, to the 30, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Timberwolves, no penalties. And Fort Bragg has just scored an electrifying touchdown return by Nathaniel Johnson when the Cloverdale Eagles deliberately tried to keep him from returning that kickoff by kicking a ground ball. What a run by Johnson. He was hit at midfield. He broke to the left sideline, and then he used his speed to break away from everybody, and it only took 16 seconds off the clock. He ran the 80-yard dash in 16 seconds that time with a football uniform and a football under his arm. Now River Saunders with the important extra point here. Ashby to hold. The fog starting to set in. There's a snap. The spot's down. The kick has got plenty of distance, and it is good. So with 21 seconds to go on a kickoff return from Nathaniel Johnson that covered about 80 yards, the Timberwolves have tied this game up. How about that? We'll keep it right here. Well, I had mentioned before the game started that Nathaniel Johnson was getting better and better every game on special teams and on offense, and that was just a great return that time. And it took a little bit of the thunder away from the Eagles, who had gained all the momentum in this game, both offensively and defensively, leading up to that electrifying kickoff return. So now the game is tied, 21 seconds to go. Saunders, now let's see if the Timberwolves do the same thing as Cloverdale did and try and just kick a ground ball type kickoff. But Saunders has the type of leg, he could get it into the end zone. But in this weather right now, this is the kind of weather you'd hate to try and hit a golf ball. There's just no carry to a football, a baseball, a golf ball, anything. It's foggy, it's cold, the air is thick, and Saunders kicks a ground ball. And it's taken by an up man at the 30 to the 35. He goes outside and is tackled at about the 35-yard line, and Cloverdale will have 16 seconds to go on the clock, but the way they've been moving the football, we'll see. We may not have seen the end of the scoring here in this first half. Boy, very exciting second quarter here so far. So Cloverdale will probably put it in the air. Let's see. They run that spread formation. Holden has shown the ability to throw the football very well. He connected with a touchdown pass to Scarmella last time they had it, a beautiful post pattern pass on a quick slant. 1st and 10, Cloverdale, the ball at their own 35-yard line. Holden out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Gives it to Bernardi. Bernardi right side and gets close to a first down. He's picking up 9 or 10 yards each time he touches the ball. 8 seconds to go now in this first half. They're going to have to figure out at halftime how to stop him or what's going on, because not sure. I know the Timberwolves have given up a lot of yardage on defense, and if there has been a little bit of a problem for the team this year, it has been defensively. There's no question about that. But tonight, I don't see a big size advantage or anything, but they're just having trouble. So 2nd and short for Cloverdale, 8 seconds to go. This could be the final play of the half. Holden back to pass. Got plenty of time in the pocket. Throws, and it's knocked away. Pate was there to get him just as he released that ball. Somebody knocked it down, and there's still 4 seconds to go, so there will be one more play after the incomplete pass. The safeties for the Timberwolves, Tupper and Ashby, are lined up at about the 45-yard line. They've got actually 4 men way back in deep formation, as they should. With 4 seconds to go, this should be the final play, as Holden out of the shotgun with his receivers in the spread formation, 2 left, 2 right. Gives it instead to Bernardi, and this time he is stopped. Somebody kept their assignment there and stopped him right at the line of scrimmage, and that's the end of the first half. And it's been an exciting first half. We have a great game here tonight at Timberwolves Stadium, as both teams are ready to rock tonight. The score at halftime, it's Fort Bragg 14, Cloverdale 14. I'm Lindy Peters, along with Terry Vaughn here for MendocinoTV.com, and you're listening to a rebroadcast on the Skunk FM on a Saturday morning. Hey, stick around. We got 24 minutes of football left, and we got us a game here tonight. The second half will be coming up after this short halftime break. All right, it is time for the second half. 14-14 tie, Fort Bragg and Cloverdale from Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. The fog has rolled in. If you're watching video on MendocinoTV.com, I got 2 words: good luck, because it is getting difficult to see. You can barely see the ball on the tee as River Saunders gets ready to kick off. Cloverdale will receive the kickoff to begin the second half in this exciting 14-14 tie. Saunders kicks it off. It's a low grounder, takes a bounce, received at the 15, up to the 20. Gutierrez past the 20, breaks free into the open field. Missed tackle, another missed tackle, another missed tackle. He's up the sideline, left side across the 40 to the 35, and dragged down from behind at the 40-yard line. A nice return that time. There's a flag. I believe it's going to go against the Timberwolves. One of those missed tackles was basically just a blow to the head. Even though it's rather thick fog, that much I could see from here. I'm pretty sure that's what the call's going to be. I think it's going to be another 15 yards tacked on to the end of this run, which should give Cloverdale the ball down at Fort Bragg's 20, 25-yard line. Let's see. There you have it. Exactly what I called. So the ball will go all the way down to the Fort Bragg 25-yard line. Not a very good start for the second half. This fog is so thick that it is going to be difficult to maybe see what's going on out there, definitely in video, and maybe even for me to broadcast this game on the radio right now. It has rolled in, and this is the kind of fog when you're driving you can't even see your hood ornament. So here comes Cloverdale with the ball. 1st and 10 at the Timberwolves 25-yard line. Out of the shotgun, this is Holden. Holden gives it to Bernardi. Left side he goes. No, that was Holden that faked and kept the ball, I think. Again, very difficult in this fog. All I know is the tackle was made near the original line of scrimmage. Not much of a gain that time, if any, setting up second down. The ball at the Timberwolves 23-yard line. Call it about a 1-yard pickup. They play 12-minute quarters here in high school football. The Timberwolves and the Eagles, 14-14. Fort Bragg trailed 14-7 with 37 seconds to go in the half when Nathaniel Johnson ran it back 80 yards to tie this game up. Holden out of the shotgun, back to pass, looking to his left, throws, got a man there and overthrows him a little high that time. He was open on the left sideline, so it's going to set up 3rd down and 9. The Eagles are definitely in 4-down territory. They really ran the ball well, especially in that second quarter with Luke Bernardi at running back. He has gained over 100 yards. I don't have stats, but I know he's gained over 100 yards, and most of those carries were about 9 or 10 yards every time he touched the ball. So here we go. It's a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 9. The ball at the Timberwolves 23-yard line. Holden out of the shotgun with a spread formation. Gives it to Bernardi. Right side he comes, and this time he stopped. Nice tackle by the Timberwolves. He did pick up maybe a couple down inside the 20, I think to about the 19-yard line. Actually, a little more than that. It's going to set up 4th down and about 4 now as that ball down close to the 20-yard line of the Timberwolves. Actually, I'm sorry, inside the 20 down to about the 16-yard line. So it's 4th down at the Timberwolves 16-yard line and a timeout called. Or it might be an injury. I think one of the Timberwolves was down. We talked about Zach Smith earlier in this game. Seemed to hurt his right knee, and it's him that I think is coming out. Hard to see in this fog. No, it's Gabe Ibarra. Ibarra is going to leave the game, and it looks like his right shoulder is limp. And Ibarra comes to the sideline. So it's 4th down and 3 for Cloverdale at the Timberwolves 16-yard line. 14-14 tie, just underway 3rd quarter. Big play right away. Holden at quarterback, rolling to his right. Got some room to run if he wants. Instead, he throws to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Cloverdale. Right where Gabe Ibarra had been playing at defensive back. A touchdown as Luke Gutierrez makes the catch, and Cloverdale takes the lead 20-14. With a short field after the penalty, they started at the Timberwolves 25-yard line and into the end zone on a 4th and 3 from 16 yards, touchdown. 10-14 to go, 3rd quarter. So Cloverdale now will try the extra point. Gutierrez to kick it. There's a snap, the spot's down, and the kick is up, and it's good. Didn't even see the kick in this thick fog, so it's Cloverdale 21, Fort Bragg 14, 10-14 to go, 3rd quarter, and the Eagles took the opening kickoff, and after that penalty, went right in and scored and retook the lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with a kickoff, and you'll see what you could see in this fog, and you'll get to hear the broadcast on the Skunk FM. We'll be back with the kickoff here in just a moment. Cloverdale out on top, 21-14. Okay, the Cloverdale Eagles have just taken a 21-14 lead. 10-14 to go, 3rd quarter here at Timberwolves Stadium. Fort Bragg back to receive the kickoff. Looks like Tyler Ashby's back there along with Nathaniel Johnson. Zach Smith not back there to return. He is on the sidelines. Gutierrez kicks it away, kind of a little pooch kick. Johnson's going to take it at about the 30-yard line, up to the 40, up to the 50, breaks a tackle, and he's tackled right at the 50-yard line. I'm sorry, I have trouble seeing where the yard markers are. He got across the 40-yard line and then was hit at the 50-yard line. Nice tackle by Gutierrez, the kicker. He was the last man to beat, and he was able to bring Johnson down, or Nathaniel Johnson may have gone all the way again. Nice return, setting up the Timberwolves right at midfield, 1st and 10. We'll see if Zach Smith, he's not out there. His right leg was hurt in that first half, and he is not playing right now. He is on the sidelines. Johnson's in there at tailback, and they can ill afford to lose him right now, trailing. They give it to Johnson, right side. He gets 5 yards. He gets about 10 yards across the 40 down to the Cloverdale 39-yard line. Nice gain by Nathaniel Johnson going around the right side. So I didn't go in and check anything out at halftime in the locker room. I know that Zach Smith early in this game came out favoring his right leg, and it probably stiffened up quite a bit. It's very cold, it's very foggy and damp, and if you have a sore knee, This is not the kind of weather you want to play in. You want to play in that nice, hot, dry weather. It's completely the opposite here tonight. 1st and 10, Timberwolves, the ball at the 39-yard line. Smith on the sideline, Johnson, Titus in the backfield. Tyler Ashby had a quarterback draw as he gets across the 40, down to the 35, inside the 35, down to about the 31-yard line. Nice pickup that time, about an 8-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 2. So the Timberwolves without their star running back right now, trailing 21-14. Johnson in the backfield along with Ty Vaughn now. 2 men split out here to the left. 2nd down and short for the Timberwolves at the Cloverdale 30. Ashby gives to Johnson. Left side he comes, and he is dropped after getting a 1st down. Nice tackle that time. Good strong tackle by the Eagles defense. I think that was Damon McKinney who made the stop. It's going to be a 1st down for the Timberwolves at the Cloverdale 28-yard line. 8:48 to go, 3rd quarter. Cloverdale 21, Fort Bragg 14. Timberwolves are going to have to come back here tonight if they're going to win this game. Tupper splits out left. Titus started to go to the right. Now he's in the backfield in front of Nathaniel Johnson, who's back there at tailback now. Ashby over center. Takes a snap, gives it to Johnson, and he's tackled. A nice tackle from behind that time. Hard to see the number. It was Michael Goebel who made the stop defensively that time as he just got behind the blocker leading for Johnson, Titus, and made the stop. No gain, 2nd down and 10. All still at the Cloverdale 28-yard line. Well, with this type of fog, you'd think it might be tough to pass, but Cloverdale got a touchdown on a 4th and 3, a 16-yard touchdown pass, so they were able to throw the ball. Timberwolves might have to put it in the air. 2nd and 10 now. Johnson at tailback, Titus at fullback. Vaughn spinning out to the left. The Timberwolves call a timeout. They were probably going to run out of time that time. So we'll take a timeout, 7:45 to go, 3rd quarter. It's Cloverdale 21, Fort Bragg 14. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. As the coach gets the team out there, we'll take a break and return with action in a moment. Okay, after the timeout, it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Timberwolves. The ball at the Eagle 28-yard line. Nathaniel Johnson splits out to the left. Titus, and it looks like Tupper's in the backfield. Titus back in the tailback slot now, right now, with Smith on the sidelines with that sore right leg. Ashby, play action, going to Johnson. He's open. The pass is incomplete. He was unable to hang on that time, as I'm not sure if he dropped it or it was broken up by Luke Bernardi, but Johnson had a step. Ashby put the pass there. Johnson just unable to hang on. Gutierrez also back there for Cloverdale to help out. And I guess Gutierrez knocked it away. Again, with this fog, it's very difficult to see what's happening. 3rd and 10. Ball at the 28-yard line. Big play for the Timberwolves, trailing 21-14. Ashby with Ty Vaughn splitting out left now. Ashby, play action, rolling. Now he steps up. Now he's in trouble. He gets away from 1 man. 3 men are on him. Gets away from another. Goes up the sideline and gets up close to the 20-yard line. It's not going to be a 1st down, but he did pick up about 7 yards, setting up 4th down and about 3 at the Cloverdale 21-yard line. So the Timberwolves in 4-down territory have to convert here. Cloverdale got a touchdown on a 4th down and 3. See if Timberwolves can answer with one of their own. It's going to be 4th and 3, the ball at the 21-yard line. The Timberwolves break the huddle and then come back. Coach Perkins yelling something out. They're going to have to get this play off quickly now. They spent a lot of time. Ashby over center. Nathaniel Johnson, the lone back. 4th and 3 at the 20-yard line. Ashby pitches to Johnson, right side. Got Martinez out in front of him, trying to get outside. Now he cuts back, and he's going to be short. He's not going to get the 1st down. So Cloverdale will take over on downs. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's a far sideline, but I'm pretty sure he was short. He is, in fact, short. So Cloverdale gets it 1st and 10, just a yard short of the 1st down that time. I'm not sure if Johnson knew where the 1st down marker was. He gave the defense time to spread out and get him. Had he cut upfield a little earlier, again, easy to see from up here, but he might have had a better shot at getting a first down. Instead, Cloverdale takes over on downs. First down at their own 19-yard line. Out of the shotgun, Holden in the spread formation. Gives it to Bernardi. No, keeps it himself after a fake, and he is not going to get much, if any, right to about the 20-yard line. Some very thick fog rolling in right now, and very difficult to see. It's going to be second down and about 10. 7:08 to go in the third quarter. 21-14 the score. Cloverdale has a lead. So the Timberwolves now have to really make a good defensive stand here. They've got to keep Cloverdale pinned back in the territory here. Second down. Trailing by a touchdown with 6:51 to go third quarter. Holden out of the shotgun in this dense fog. Back to pass. Looking, throwing, complete, and tackled short of the first down up to about the 25-yard line. Gaby Barr is back in the game now. He had left with a slight injury, but he's back. Only a pickup of about 4 yards that time. Scarmella made the catch. It's going to set up third down and about 5. 21-14, Cloverdale leading, 6:26 to go here in this third quarter. This is a huge play now for the Timberwolves defense. 24-yard line, Cloverdale has it third down and 5. They've got to get to the 29-yard line to get a first down. Out of the spread, 3 men split to the right, 1 man splits to the left. Bernardi in the backfield with Holden. Holden takes a snap, rolling to his right, looks, throws, and it's caught and then dropped. I don't know if they're going to call this a catch or not. I guess they call it a catch. He dropped the ball and went flying out of bounds. Coach Perkins right there says, hold on a second. Well, it's going to be a first down for Cloverdale. It looked as though the man dropped the football. Scarmella caught it as he was going out of bounds. The ball was knocked away, but it was called a complete pass. I guess he held it long enough. So a big first down for Cloverdale at the Timberwolves 36-yard line. 5:44 to go, third quarter, 21-14, Cloverdale with the lead. They've got the football at their own 35-yard line. Out of the spread, Holden at quarterback at shotgun. Takes a snap. Gives it to Scarmella, and there he goes again, right up the middle, and gets a first down yardage across the 50 down to the 44-yard line, or 45-yard line of the Timberwolves, first and 10. Defensively, the Timberwolves are not staying in their lanes. When there's play action, when they're faking the ball, or you're not sure if the quarterback has it or the running back, the best thing you can do is stay in your lane. Don't go for anybody, just stay in your lane. First down, Cloverdale. You got to give them credit. They're here to play tonight. Their lead 21-14, and they're driving. 5:13 to go, third quarter. The defense has to come up with a big play here. Scarmella splits out to the right. 3 men split to the left for the Eagles. Holden in the shotgun with Bernardi back in the backfield with him. Holden takes a snap. Keeps it himself after faking to Bernardi. Right side, got good yardage, breaks a tackle down to the 30. Close to the 25, and is wrestled out of bounds by several Timberwolves before he is dropped across the 30 down to the Fort Bragg 28-yard line. And Cloverdale moving the football very well right now. 4:40 to go, third quarter. (21-14) the score. Cloverdale has a lead. Third quarter, 4:40 to go. They've marched the ball on a big third down conversion, and now they've got it down inside the Timberwolves 30-yard line down to the 29-yard line as this dense fog and cold air blankets Timberwolves Stadium. Holden out of the shotgun as they come up to the line of scrimmage with a fresh set of downs, and a whistle blows. I think they may have taken too much time. Not sure what's going on. The official comes across to tell the head referee who's going to... Well, it's offsides against the Timberwolves. They lined up in the neutral zone, and that'll bring it inside the 20 to the 25 down to the 24-yard line. And that sets up first and 5. Cloverdale leading 21-14 and on the march. Holden out of the shotgun. Back to pass. Throws. Caught. Scarmella, just that quick slant again, and down inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 8-yard line for Cloverdale. And the Timberwolves defense doesn't seem to have an answer for the pass or the run against the Eagles here tonight. 21-14 Cloverdale, 4:33 to go, third quarter. Cloverdale took the opening kickoff, got a 15-yard penalty on that opening kickoff. After a decent run back, they started from Fort Bragg's 25-yard line on a 4th and 3 at the 16, scored a touchdown, and now they're knocking on the door again. First and goal at the 8. Holden fakes to Bernardi, keeps it himself. Over the right side he goes. He's inside the 5. He drives across the goal line. I believe it's a touchdown. It is. The Eagles have scored again, and it's 28-14, 4:09 to go here in the third quarter. Well, let's call it 27-14. I can't just give them the extra point. But Zach Smith, who seemed to have been injured in that first half, played the rest of the first half, but he has not played in the second half. And with the Timberwolves trailing by 2 touchdowns now, it's going to be a tough comeback with him on the sidelines, to be sure. So as that fog gets even thicker now, here's Gutierrez for the extra point for Cloverdale. Snap, spot, kick, can't even see it. The officials did. It went through the uprights. It's good. So with 4:09 to go, third quarter, it's Cloverdale 28, Fort Bragg 14. Lindy Peters will be back with a kickoff here in just a moment. All right, 4:09 to go here. We're in the third quarter. It's Fort Bragg trailing now. Cloverdale 28, Fort Bragg 14, as the Eagles will kick it off. Timberwolves with a couple of mistakes on that drive, penalty-wise, but again, can't really fault Fort Bragg as much as credit Cloverdale. They are playing very well tonight. They have come in here and they fell behind on the first drive, and then pretty much it's been their ball game. So here's the kick. Very difficult to see. A ground ball kick taken by Johnson at his 20 to the 25. Cuts back and is tackled right across the 30 up close to the 40-yard line. At about the 37-yard line, Fort Bragg will have it 1st and 10. Nathaniel Johnson's already returned a kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown, and if there has been one bright spot tonight, he has been an outstanding return man, even on kicks that aren't supposed to be returnable, such as that one. He returned a kickoff right before halftime to tie this game up, but Cloverdale has dominated here in the second half. 4:03 to go, third quarter, 28-14. The Eagles have the lead. The Timberwolves have the football. Ashby now will run out of the shotgun as the Timberwolves are in a spread formation. Ashby keeps it himself after faking to Johnson, gets up across the 40 up to the 41-yard line, about a 4-yard pickup, setting down 2nd down and 6. Well, Fort Bragg is going to have to score twice here and hold the Eagles. The real difficult thing is going to be trying to hold Cloverdale. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com, and the fog has rolled in. It is cold, it is foggy, and right now it's not very pleasant for the Timberwolves as they trail. Ashby faking it to Johnson, keeps it himself, and is tackled in the backfield that time after a loss. I think Adrian Bernardi is the man who made the stop. He kept it in Johnson's belly for a while, but the defensive pursuit was there right as soon as he kept it himself. Ball goes back to about the 37-yard line of Fort Bragg. That's going to be 3rd down at about 10 now. Down to 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Cloverdale has scored 2 unanswered touchdowns in this third quarter. Fort Bragg think they might have to start throwing the football here at some point. Ashby with 2 men in the backfield, Titus and Johnson in the I formation behind him. Ashby back to pass. Quick pass out to Vaughn, and it's knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Knocked that time by, I think Bernardi hit it. Or maybe that was maybe the ball just came out of his hand funny. I'm not sure, but it's going to be 4th and 10, and the clock stops with 2:42 to go in the third quarter. Fort Bragg trailing 28-14. Timberwolves will have to punt. Gutierrez back to receive. Saunders on to punt for the Timberwolves. Well, Fort Bragg unable to get a first down in that series. As I mentioned, Zach Smith, if you tuned in late here, has not played in the second half. The star for the Timberwolves has been on the sidelines favoring that right knee, which he injured earlier this year. Saunders punts it away. It's a low punt. And again, it takes an Eagles bounce, bounces sideways, and goes to about the 35-yard line where it's downed. Cloverdale takes over. 2:34 to go in this third quarter. It's Cloverdale 28, Fort Bragg 14. We'll keep it right here as they huddle up with that spread offense. Well, with a 2-touchdown lead and the fact they're able to run the football very effectively against this defense, Cloverdale will probably keep it on the ground. Can't say for sure, but if I'm Fort Bragg on defense, especially on the line, I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to look for Bernardi or Holden to run the football. Snap, give to Bernardi, and he is dropped. Somebody did a nice job that time, Tyler Ashby. Bernardi has gained most of his yards, 7 or 8 yards, before anyone even seems to touch him tonight. That time Ashby was all over him. Dropped him for about a 2-yard loss, 2nd down and 12. Clock running down now to about 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. 28-14, Cloverdale has the lead. The Timberwolves are going to have to mount a comeback here tonight. Out of that spread formation, 2-men split right, 2-men split left. Holden in the shotgun with Luke Bernardi with him in the backfield. Holden takes a snap, fakes to Bernardi, keeps it himself, and the defense does a good job. Perkins was in there. I'm not sure who tripped him up. With this dense fog, it's hard to see. I think Strickland got in there and tripped him up, so they lost another yard, so it's going to be 3rd down and 13. Now, under these circumstances, maybe Cloverdale will put it in the air. We're down to 1:30 to go here in this third quarter. The Timberwolves sideline is exhorting their teammates to play some defense here. So here comes Cloverdale. They've been able to convert on 3rd and long before. It's 3rd and 13. Holden back to pass. Throws deep. Up the right sideline it goes. Out of reach of Scarmella, the intended receiver. Back there on coverage that time for the Timberwolves. Not sure who that was. We got a number 24 that, not sure who that is. Not listed in our program here. But nonetheless, that ball was overthrown. The clock stops, 1:16 to go third quarter, and it's 4th down. Cloverdale will have to punt. My guess is they'd have to punt. Ashby back to receive along with Nathaniel Johnson. Gutierrez in punt formation. Very dense fog. Again, if you're watching on MendocinoTV.com, hopefully you're able to see. There's the snap. Gutierrez has plenty of time to get his kick away. It's a low kick and not a very good one. It's just so foggy that ball just is not going to carry tonight. Whether you're a place kicker, a punter, it's just not going to carry, and it thankfully doesn't go very far. The Timberwolves will have it 1st and 10, the ball at their own 40-yard line. 1:04 to go third quarter, Cloverdale leading 28-14. Well, the Timberwolves are just going to have to try and get a drive going offensively here and get a touchdown. They proved that they could stop Cloverdale in that last series. Now they need to see if they can get something going on offense without their, well, now the Timberwolves have been assessed. I couldn't see a flag, but it's a 10-yard penalty against the Timberwolves. So instead of starting at their own 40, they're back to their own 30. They can ill afford to make mistakes right now. They trail by 2 touchdowns. They're going to have to try and play penalty-free. Obviously, they were unable to do so that time. So Fort Bragg has it far hash mark in dense fog now. Ashby out of the shotgun. He has it, gives it to Johnson, trying to get around left side. He's got nowhere to go. There are 3 Eagles back there. He gets away from one, but the other 2 finish him off. A loss that time of 3 or 4 yards as the clock goes down to 1 or a minute to go here in this third quarter, which has been all Cloverdale. They have scored 2 unanswered touchdowns. They lead at 28-14. Timberwolves will have time to get off one more play here in this third quarter. It's going to be 2nd down and 15, the ball at the 25-yard line. Two-man split left now for the Timberwolves. Tupper splits out here. Ashby in the shotgun with Nathaniel Johnson back there. Ashby looks to his right, throws, passes complete. And 1st down, back to the original line of scrimmage, that is. Only about a 7-yard pickup. As I looked across the far line, it looked like a 1st down, but I forgot they had lost yardage, so they only got back past the original line of scrimmage, setting up 3rd down and about 8. That's going to be the final play of the third quarter. The score, with 12 minutes left in this game, the Timberwolves have some work to do. It's Cloverdale 28, Fort Bragg 14. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back here in just a moment. All right, here we go. It's 3rd down and about 8 for the Timberwolves as we begin the fourth quarter. I'm Lindy Peters. Cloverdale 28, Fort Bragg 14. Here we go. 3rd and 8 for the Timberwolves. The ball at their own 31-yard line. Ashby over center, back to pass. Drops straight back. Now he gets some pressure. Gets away from one man. Gets a pressure again. Now he's still on his feet, rolling. Gets some pressure again and is finally tackled. 4 Eagles in the backfield with him. And Ashby is sacked on that 3rd down play, setting up 4th down. The ball at their own 24-yard line. They're going to have to punt it away. And if you tuned in late, Fort Bragg took a 7-0 lead on a 4-yard run by Zach Smith. And then Smith somehow on a short run up the middle came limping to the sideline, favoring his right leg early in this game. He managed to finish the first half playing, but he has not played in the second half. As Saunders kicks another low kick, and a bad kick, but it does take a Timberwolves bounce across midfield down to about the 48-yard line. But in defense of Saunders, this is no weather to kick in. And like I said, this fog is so thick. If you're watching on MendocinoTV.com, you can see how thick the fog is. You probably can't see the game very well, but we're doing the best we can under these circumstances. 11:09 to go in the game. Cloverdale with the football now. 28-14, Eagles on top. Ball just across midfield at the Eagles' 49-yard line. 2-man split left, 2-man split right as Holden at quarterback will continue to run the spread. I'm not sure what's going on. Coach Perkins is yelling something out there at the officials, but here comes the snap. The give to Bernardi, right side. He's got some room. He's across the 40, down across the 40, down to Fort Bragg. 1st down, about a 13-yard pickup for Cloverdale. And if Cloverdale's able to go down and score at this point, you could almost put it in the books. So it's a 1st down at the Timberwolves' 38-yard line. 11 minutes to go in the game. 28-14 Cloverdale. We're broadcasting this game on a Saturday morning on the Skunk FM, and you're watching video on MendocinoTV.com. This is the final home game for the Timberwolves, and really, this is more Halloween weather than we had last night. This is that fog, almost like the old graveyard fog we got going here at Timberwolves Stadium now in this 4th quarter. Holden out of the shotgun for the Eagles. 1st down. Takes a snap, gives it to Bernardi, right side, and he again gets about 7 yards before he's hit, but he's dropped after about a 8-yard pickup down to the 31-yard line. We'll watch the clock now, 10:26 to go in the game. Fort Bragg has not had an answer for Luke Bernardi. Not a big running back, just a sophomore. 5'10", 150 is how he's listed in the program. He's got good speed, though, and some good moves. But out of this spread formation, they're running the ball very well right off tackle. Left tackle, right tackle. So here's Holden once again. Gives to Bernardi. Up the middle he goes. This time he is stopped by the Timberwolves. He may have got a 1st down, however, before he was driven back. Looks like it's going to be a 1st down to the Fort Bragg 27-yard line. 9:50 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. And Cloverdale has come here tonight with a good game plan. And after Fort Bragg took the opening kickoff and drove all the way down to score a touchdown, they have not been able to score since on offense. They have had a kickoff return for a touchdown. They trail 28-14. There's Holden, takes a snap, gives to Bernardi. Left side he comes into the open field to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. Touchdown, Cloverdale. And again, right off tackle, not going outside. And that should really, well, I won't say that's the end of the game. There's 9:21 to go, and it's high school football. But the way the Timberwolves are struggling both offensively and defensively, that makes it 34-14, a 20-point lead with 9:21 to go in the game. It's looking like Cloverdale's going to have a happy bus ride home, as Gutierrez now on to kick the extra point for Cloverdale. In this dense fog, there's the snap, there's the spot, there's the kick. I didn't see it, but the officials saw it go through the uprights. And the score, with 9:21 to go in the game, it's Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 14. So the little break in the action here. We'll take a break with 9:21 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Can the Timberwolves come back? We're going to find out here. Stay with us. Okay, here we go. The Timberwolves playing in some cotton candy graveyard fog tonight and trailing 35-14. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. It is cold, it is foggy, and it has not been a pleasant night to be a fan of the purple and white, as the Eagles will kick it off here with a 3-touchdown lead. Gutierrez kicks it off. It's a ground ball kick, touched by an up man, and he just falls on it at the 26-yard line. That's our mystery man, number 24, not listed in our program, and I haven't really recalled seeing a number 24 all season long, so I'm not sure who that is out there. I do know we have Christian Strickland in the game tonight wearing number 20. He has not been featured this year. A couple players that are now eligible to play playing tonight. And one fella who on the sideline is not playing right now is number 28, Zach Smith, favoring that right leg. So the Timberwolves with Ashby at quarterback, gives it to Johnson, right side he comes, to the 30, to the 35, breaks a tackle, gets across a 40, and gets a first down for the Timberwolves out to the 42-yard line. So Nathaniel Johnson having a good game here tonight. But the Timberwolves haven't had too much else to talk about on offense once Smith went out, except for Nathaniel Johnson. 9:05 to go in the game. Well, if the Timberwolves can go down and get a touchdown on this drive, they can at least make it interesting here. Two men split to the left. Ty Vaughn splits out to the right. Backs are in the I formation behind Ashby at quarterback. Ashby looking to his left, throws. Pass is caught, that is. I'm not sure who caught it. Tupper, I think, out to about the 46-yard line, about a 5 or 6 yard pickup before he's driven back. It is so foggy you can't even see the numbers out there, and if you have poor eyesight tonight and you're watching this game, there's going to be a penalty call against the Timberwolves, so they get something positive going, and there's a 5-yard penalty. Well, that they just can't do this. They cannot hurt themselves under these circumstances. The Eagles have played pretty much penalty-free football. Most of the penalty yardage tonight has gone against the Timberwolves, no question about that. There have been some big penalties at times. 8:37 to go in the game. Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 14. Tupper splits out right. I think that's Vaughn split out to the left up at the top. Titus in fullback and Nathaniel Johnson in the I-back behind Ashby. Gives to Johnson, right side, gets a block from Titus. Gets across the 40 and is dragged out of bounds, tackled out of bounds. There's a flag. Thank you very much. That should have been a flag. He was out of bounds, and then he was driven down to the turf, and Nathaniel Johnson is slow to get up. That'll be, I just mentioned, Cloverdale's played pretty much mistake-free football, but that's a Michael Goebel, a late hit out of bounds. That's a 15-yard penalty, and the Timberwolves will get a first down, but the more important thing is Johnson is very slow getting up on the Timberwolves sideline. Still has not stood up all the way, bending over. He's up on his feet now. And that 15-yard penalty will bring it all the way down to the Cloverdale 40-yard line. But if Johnson is unable to get back out there, he still hasn't stood up all the way. He's bending over. Not sure if it's his back. It seems like he's favoring his back, so he's on the sidelines. Ashby now. Costello will be at quarterback, and Tyler Ashby is running in the tailback position. Costello in the game at quarterback now. He takes the snap. He gives it to Ashby. Ashby over the left side. Gets some yardage up across the 40 down to the 34-yard line. They're still talking to Nathaniel Johnson on the sideline. Zach Smith already injured his right leg, and he's out. Johnson seems to be walking okay. And he seems to be okay. They're letting him take a couple of little sprints on the sideline. Meanwhile, Costello still a quarterback, Ashby a tailback for the Timberwolves. 7:59 to go in the game, trailing 35-14. Give to Ashby, right side, breaks a tackle, gets out in the open field, breaks another tackle, runs over a man and is out of bounds inside the 20. Ashby, playing his final home game as a senior, the outstanding quarterback, forced to play tailback due to a couple injuries, and what a tough run that was. That was desire by Tyler Ashby to get a first down to the Cloverdale 18-yard line. 7:49 to go in the game. Cloverdale leading 35-14. Ashby lines up again at tailback. Costello takes a snap, gives it to Ashby again, and he goes over the left side and gets some pretty good yardage down inside the 15-yard line to about the 14-yard line, about a 5-yard pickup that time, setting up second down and I'll call it a 4-yard gain, second down and 6. So it looks like they're going to keep Costello in there at quarterback and Tyler Ashby at the tailback position right now. Looking up the sideline, Johnson standing next to Coach Perkins, but he has not returned since that late hit out of bounds that resulted in a penalty against Cloverdale. Costello this time gives to Titus. Right up the middle he goes. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Timberwolves. Scooty Titus goes in from about the 20-yard line, right up the middle that time as the defense keyed on Ashby. After Ashby had run so effectively, they instead gave it to the first man, Titus, from his fullback position. He went right up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown. So with 7:06 to go, it's Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 20. As Saunders now on to kick the extra point for Fort Bragg. The fog beginning to lift a little bit in the south end zone right where this kick is. Might be able to actually see the extra point this time. There's a bad snap. Ashby picks it up and they're not going to get the extra point. That was just a bad snap, and with 7:06 to go in the game, it's Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 20. Will they do an onside kick? We're going to find out. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff here in just a moment. 7:06 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Timberwolves have just scored on a 19-yard run from Scooty Titus. It's 35-20. Cloverdale leading, and Saunders to kick it off. I wonder if we'll see an onside kick. The Timberwolves don't appear to be trying an onside kick. And there's kind of a pooch kick by Saunders. It's fielded by Bernardi, and he just falls down on it at the 29-yard line. So the Timberwolves defense is going to have to stiffen now. They're going to have to hold Cloverdale and try and get the ball back to their offense here, trailing by a couple of touchdowns. That missed extra point could loom large too. Timberwolves at some point are going to have to go for two if they're able to stop Cloverdale. Nathaniel Johnson is back in the game now on defense for Fort Bragg. So here's Cloverdale. The fog lifting now, able to see a lot better. Holden out of the shotgun in the spread formation with Bernardi back with him. Takes a snap. Fakes to Bernardi, keeps it himself. Left side he comes. He's got some good yardage. Stiff arms a man. Up the left sideline he goes. Still on his feet. He's out of bounds. Across midfield at the 46-yard line of Fort Bragg. That's a first down for the Eagles. As Josh Holden faked it Bernardi and kept it himself. And if you're watching the video, the fog is lifting a little bit now. It's a little easier to see than it was a few minutes ago. 6:55 to go in the game. The defense is going to have to try and stop Cloverdale. They cannot give up another score. They just were able to get a touchdown and get back a little, sort of in this game. They still trail by a couple of touchdowns, but they're going to have to stiffen here. Holden out of the shotgun. Takes a snap. Gives it to Bernardi this time right side, and he is met and dropped. Titus with a good tackle that time right at the line of scrimmage. Also Strickland in there to make the stop. Second down and 10, no gain. 6:37 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. A lot of the defense out there on the field know that they've really got to play well right now and come up with some stops. Not as a big a crowd as we've had this year at Timberwolves Stadium in some of the games, but the crowd that's here is exhorting the team on here, yelling, and there's a penalty flag or a whistle. It might have been too much time. Oh, There was going to be a delay of game call, but a timeout was called just before that. So we'll take a timeout. It's Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 20. We'll return here in just a moment. 6:07 to go in the game. I'm Lindy Peters. We're back with action now. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Timberwolves 45-yard line for Cloverdale. They lead by 15 points. Holden keeps it himself after faking it. Right side he goes, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and is brought down short of the first down. It's going to set up 3rd down and about 3. The Eagles are in 4-down territory at the Fort Bragg 37-yard line, I would think, anyway, if they don't get it here. Cloverdale's played a very good game tonight, I have to say. A very disciplined game, both defensively and offensively, but the Timberwolves have really been hurt by injuries. Zach Smith has not played in the second half. It was tied 14-14 at halftime, but without him offensively and defensively, and he's really the emotional leader of this team. With him on the sidelines, Timberwolves have not really played well here in the second half. There's the give to Bernardi. Vaughn trying to chase him down, and he does, but I think Bernardi got a first down as he stiff-armed Vaughn in the backfield a little bit and able to get a first down for Cloverdale inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Down to 5 minutes to go in the game now. 35-20 Cloverdale. If they keep moving the chains and the clock keeps running, they're going to win this game. They are certainly in control of it. As I just mentioned, the second half, without Zach Smith, the Timberwolves just haven't really had much going other than a moment ago when Scooty Titus went in from 19 yards out. That's been their lone score in the second half. Under 5 minutes to go in the game now. Cloverdale has it. They give it to Bernardi. Right side he goes, and he's tackled this time by Ashby, who came up and made the stop. Picked up maybe 3 yards down to about the 31-yard line, setting up 2nd down and 7. 4:27 to go in the game. Clock continues to run as they keep the ball on the ground. 35-20 Cloverdale. Timberwolves JV team won 42-6 tonight to continue their bright season. The varsity struggling though right now. Out of the shotgun in the spread formation, Holden takes a snap. Fakes to Bernardi, back to pass, throws it wide open over the middle, and he drops the football at the 10-yard line. That ball thrown a little bit behind him. I think that was McKinney, the intended receiver. And that ball was just a little behind him. It certainly was catchable, but it stops the clock with 4:02 to go in the game and sets up a 3rd down and 7 now for Cloverdale at the 31. I was kind of surprised to see him put the ball in the air, leading 35-20 here with the clock running. Their objective now is to just get that clock down to 0. So they'll probably have to throw here. We'll see. 3rd down and 7. Holden takes the snap. Fakes to Bernardi, runs it himself, and is hit for a moment. And boy, does he fight and toughen his way. Breaks 3 tackles and gets inside the 20 for a first down. The Timberwolves had him, and he just wouldn't go down. A tough run that time by Josh Holden. As the senior gets a first down, Gabe Ibarra finally able to stop him. But Holden showing some toughness himself that time as he limps back to the huddle. His helmet came off. If you were watching on MendocinoTV.com, much better visibility now. That fog has definitely lifted significantly now, and much easier to see what's going on. Looked like Holden was going to go out for a moment, and Scarmella was going to come in at quarterback. A timeout by the Cloverdale Eagles. We'll take a timeout. 3:45 to go in the game. Cloverdale 35, Fort Bragg 20. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Stick around. We'll finish up this game here when we come back. 3:45 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Cloverdale came in here tonight, and it's 35-20. They are not only leading the game, but they just got a first down at the Timberwolves' 18-yard line. And as that fog lifts, it's very easy to see now as Holden out of the shotgun takes the snap, gives it to Bernardi, and this time the defense stays in their lanes and the tackle is made as he goes over the left side. Perkins made the stop for the Timberwolves. About a 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8. The clock continues to run, 3:30 to go in the game. This time of year when that fog comes in, it's not as wet as it is in the summer or early fall. It's kind of a dry fog where it's just cold. It just intensifies the cold air. But the ball isn't slick. The ground isn't really getting slick from this fog. It's just been a impairment to visibility, but it's lifting now. Holden takes the snap, gives it to Bernardi. He's got a blocker. Left side he goes to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Cloverdale. As he scores again and makes it 42-20 with 3 minutes to go. Well, less than 3. 2 minutes, 53 minutes to go in the game. And now some of the Timberwolves faithful get up to leave. We're going to write it out here on the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. It's really been kind of a unfortunate night for number 28, Zach Smith of the Timberwolves, who scored a touchdown on the first drive, had some good carries, but has been favoring his right leg, has not played at all here in this second half. So the Eagles on for the extra point. They have made all 5 of their extra points. Gutierrez kick, you can see it now. It's up and it's good as he makes another one and makes it 42-20. So with 2:53 to go in the game, Cloverdale is having a good night here at Timberwolves Stadium as they lead it now 42-20 and time running out on the Timberwolves. Ashby and Johnson will be back to receive. We'll keep it right here. Certainly want to thank Terry Vaughn from MendocinoTV.com for covering the video aspect of this game and also providing audio for the Skunk FM on the Saturday morning rebroadcast. It's been a fun season, kind of a disappointing season for the Timberwolves after their tremendous year last year when they got to the playoffs and won the league, going undefeated in NCL1 play. But Coach Roy Perkins did lose 17 players from last year's team. This is a young team. I don't have the stats on penalties this year, but this is one of the more penalized Timberwolves team I can recall. And you know, you can't blame the officials every night. They just make a lot of mistakes. And in a team that's young like this, one of the things you can't do is hurt yourself. So the Eagles will kick it off as Gutierrez kicks a ground ball. And it's taken by Ashby. He'll take it at the 25, stops for a moment, looks for an opening, and is dragged down and tackled across the 30 to the 32-yard line as Zach Regi makes a stop for Cloverdale, who's had a good night defensively. So the fog lifting quite a bit now as visibility returns here to your video on MendocinoTV.com. 2:47 to go in the game. The Timberwolves trailing 42-20. So what you really want to do at this point is just end on a positive note. See if you can get something going. The odds at this point are significantly against you, to be honest. Costello stays at quarterback, and Ashby and Johnson are split back behind him in the backfield. And a penalty flag goes down as I don't know if it was too much time or obviously it's an offensive penalty because the play didn't even go. 12 men in the huddle that time. That's a penalty you don't see too often. Be first down and 15 now, the ball back at the 27-yard line. Well, I was just saying, a young team like this has been penalized a lot, and you can't really hurt yourselves and expect to win. Costello takes a snap, gives it to Ashby. Ashby breaks a tackle. Looks like he was dragged down by the face mask that time, but there's no call. 2:36 to go in the game. Jesse Martinez is favoring his right arm. He's going to come out, or his hand. It looks like he got a stinger maybe. Well, the Timberwolves trying to go out with a little pride here, see if they can get something going. And like I said, end this game on a positive note. 2:17 to go in the game. Costello at quarterback with Ashby and Johnson back behind him in the backfield. The give is to Johnson. Johnson has it, left side. Got some decent yardage up across the 35-yard line to about the 37-yard line. Picks up about 6 yards. It's going to set up third down at about 5. Down under 2 minutes to go in the game now. The clock continues to run. So the Timberwolves come up to the line of scrimmage, trailing 42-20. 1:41 to go in the game. 3rd down and 5. The ball at their own 37-yard line. Anthony Costello takes a snap, gives it to Johnson. Right side he comes. He's got a 1st down and more as he gets across the 45 out to the 46-yard line. And the Timberwolves get a 1st down. 1:28 to go in the game. Timberwolves scored first in this game. Cloverdale had a 14-7 lead with 37 seconds to go in the half when Nathaniel Johnson returned a kickoff 80 yards to tie it up at halftime, but the second half Cloverdale has been dominant. Costello takes a snap, gives it to Tyler Ashby, and the youngster, the senior, with a good run across midfield again, picking up yardage down to about the 46-yard line of Cloverdale. About a 7 or 8 yard gain. We're under a minute to go. Clock is ticking. And it looks like this game's probably going to end with a 42-20 score on the scoreboard unless the Timberwolves can come up with a big play here. They have time for 1, maybe 2 more plays. Ashby and Johnson in the backfield behind Costello. Takes a snap. He's back to pass, rolling. Throws it deep. Man's there. He makes a catch. Ty Vaughn, touchdown Timberwolves. Well, how about that? Nice throw from Anthony Costello, and that makes it 42-26. And I did say that Fort Bragg would like to end on a positive note, and they just did. Might be too little too late. There's only 30 seconds to go, but a nice pass from Anthony Costello, a beautiful running catch by Ty Vaughn, and the Timberwolves score a touchdown and make it 42-26. River Saunders on to try the extra point now. Ashby to hold. Long count here. There's the snap, there's the spot, there's the kick, got the distance, and it is good. So with 30 seconds to go, the Timberwolves get on the scoreboard again. It's Cloverdale 42, Fort Bragg 27. Well, onside kick, long bomb, onside kick, long bomb. Can you do it in 30 seconds? I don't know. We'll keep it right here, folks, to close this one out as Fort Bragg sends out their kickoff team. Gives me a chance again to thank our sponsors on the radio for making it possible to bring you these games each week. I want to thank Hoot Hootin' back at the Skunk for his community-minded attitude and bringing you high school football, returning it to the airwaves after many years of not doing Timberwolves football. It's nice to get it back on the radio again. It's always been my pleasure to bring you the games. So Saunders, here comes the kick, and he goes ahead and kicks a ground ball. Does not try an onside kick. It's received and downed right there at about the 16-yard line with 27 seconds to go in the game. So all Cloverdale has to do is snap the football and take a knee, and this game is over. The Timberwolves scored on a 4-yard run from Zach Smith, an 80-yard touchdown kickoff return from Nathaniel Johnson, a 19-yard run from Scooty Titus, and a 46-yard touchdown pass from Anthony Costello to Ty Vaughn. That's the Timberwolves scoring tonight. They're going to come up on the short end, and there's the snap, and there's the knee, and there's the game. The final here tonight at Timberwolves Stadium, a tough loss for the Timberwolves, especially for number 28, Zach Smith, who did not play in the second half. At halftime, we were tied 14-14, but Cloverdale opened up a big lead here in the second half and went on to win it. The final here tonight from Timberwolves Stadium, Cloverdale 42, Fort Bragg 27. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Our next broadcast will be next Saturday morning on the Skunk as we'll head to Clear Lake and bring you that final game of the season. But tonight, the Cloverdale Eagles have defeated the Fort Bragg Timberwolves 42-27. I'll mention the JV score one more time in case you tuned in late and missed it. The Fort Bragg JVs won. They beat Cloverdale 42-6. So one win is better than none. and the Timberwolves will travel to Clear Lake for the final game of the season next week. Hey, thanks for joining us on the rebroadcast on the Skunk FM, and thanks for watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. I'm Lindy Peters for Terry Vaughn. So long, everybody.